Julian Webster, Affinity Water's Water Neutrality Engineering Manager.
Frankie Pumilia, Affinity Water's Assistant Project Manager on the Water Neutrality Project.
Julian and Frankie, thank you very much indeed for joining me today for another Affinity Water podcast on water neutrality. Tell me where we are, Frankie.
We are at Bidwell in Houghton Regis, which is going to be our first water neutral development site.
And Julian, what can we see while we're walking along this path? We've got some lovely reed beds and a pond on our right, but also houses.
So around as you can see the new estate, the new houses that have been built, the houses that have been partaken in the kind of pledge scheme where we've actually had those houses reducing down their consumption through a number of pledges they've made, effectively impacting their behaviour on the site.
And Frankie, the idea is to ensure that when the new houses are built, the community isn't using any more water.
Yeah, that's correct. The whole point of the water neutrality project at Bidwell is so that we don't take any additional demand on the supply here.
And there have been pond damping activities in the pond on our right.
Yeah, so on the pond on our right in summer 2023 we partnered with Hertfordshire University where we had a local pond dipping event. So lots of people from the community came and joined us and it was really engaging and we were just able to promote water neutrality.
And Julian, does it take that kind of initiative for people to realise that we can't keep taking water from the environment if we want to save our rivers and save our streams?
Yes, it definitely supports on the whole message in relation to the impact on abstracting water from the environment and being able to support both local kind of environmental areas, so such as what we can see here, the kind of pond systems on site, and equally wider where we've got our chalk streams and extraction from them. So it's really important to reduce down that additional demand that's driven from growth in our area.
And some of the new houses, you're trying to get builders to actually install from the first principles grey water recycling and ways of which they can reduce water consumption by building it into the new builds.
Yes, very much so. So we're looking at challenging builders, not directly at the Bidwell site, but around Affinity area, to look at how they can kind of use water more intelligently. So I'm looking at those water reuse systems, so grey water and rainwater, to be able to effectively remove that demand on the potable supply.
And you're also asking customers to have new water fittings.
So from the water fitting side, effectively what we're looking at doing is kind of working with and challenging developers to kind of deliver more efficient solutions. So kind of current regulations set out either 125 or 110 in relation to litres per person per day. Ideally what we're looking at doing is challenging developers to get down to 100 or below in relation to changing fittings. They can be simple things such as shower heads, tap aerators, and effectively how they then kind of utilise elements in the home with regards to kind of garden usage and so on and so forth, as well, all being able to support and reducing that element on the potable demand.
And Frankie, that's the fitting element, but it's also about our behaviour as consumers, isn't it, in our own homes?
Yeah, absolutely. And there's so much that customers at Bidwell, anywhere, can do to save water. Simple things like just turning the tap off when you're brushing your teeth. Very, very simple things that can have such a big impact on water saving.
And you're also working, Julian, with public buildings, aren't you? With leisure centres and other large water users. It's amazing what you can achieve by things like, rainwater recycling.
Yeah, 100% yes. So effectively, considering Bidwell and where we are at the minute, what we've done is work in the local community, so the area surrounding Bidwell, which is already kind of the established built-up area. We've worked with businesses, schools, the local kind of authority buildings to go in, retrofit them in regards to device to reduce their consumption down. So really kind of pushing on that piece of reducing that demand in the local community. So actually the residual demand that's given off Bidwell is kind of reducing that whole piece of kind of making it water neutral. So that whole, we don't take additional demand from our local supply area. So in reducing that down in the local community, we then mean Bidwell itself then is water neutral.
And it's a collaboration. You've got councils involved, local authorities and other companies expert in water saving.
Yes, so it's a kind of a true collaborative project. So we're at Bidwell today, and it's it's Affinity Water here. These are not our customers, it's not our site. It's fed by NAV, Independent Water Networks Limited. They supply the water here. The customers here belong to them. And again, alongside that, we're working with a local authority, behavioural change experts, water efficiency experts to deliver these solutions in the local area. So,
Frankie, you clearly personally care about the environment. How important do you think, in the scheme of climate change, global warming, are the messages about water neutrality? Are they important?
Oh, absolutely. And I don't think that people really understand the severity of what it can be. In just our kind of region alone, which is a water scarce region at Affinity Water, we're looking at a really big impact on demand as population increases and things like that, and it's going to be a scarcity and it will be a commodity in the future as well.
So really important. Do you think we've taken it for granted? We've turned on the tap and, we haven't worried how long the tap runs for.
Yeah, I think it's been taken for granted, but I think also, like what Julian touched upon, we're working with governments and we're working with the authorities, local authorities, to kind of really push that message and get the change to happen.
And Julian, it's said that this water neutrality project, funded by Ofwat and a Nesta project too, but it's said that it will act as a blueprint for other such schemes throughout the country. Is that right? It's so important it's a blueprint.
100% yes. One of the key outputs from the project is delivering that kind of industry blueprint, develop the way of which water neutrality can develop. So, what we're doing here is a test to see how that behavioural change element will work, how it can be delivered. Actually, does that deliver for water neutrality? And that will work alongside kind of those technical aspects of fittings, water reuse, and again, kind of the work within the local community around the offset, and really help support, develop that piece of actually how cost effective, how we can deliver a formal blueprint for that water neutrality element. So,
and here at Bidwell, on this very sunny day, we've got reed beds, we've got water, a little stream, we've got, as we said, a pond, almost a lake. But do you think we're now appreciating nature more?
I do. I think there's a lot more to do still. From a generalised point of view, it offers a fantastic ability to support the local site itself in relation to kind of its drainage and so forth. Equally though, kind of we as a kind of industry and kind of a nation need to explore kind of more nature-based solutions as well in relation to how we can kind of utilise and save water in the local area. So I think it's all really key that actually kind of that environmental aspects continue kind of prioritise and promoting itself as well, alongside the kind of the element of water reduction and water neutrality.
And Frank, just finally, is it difficult to persuade local communities? We've got a row of houses in front of us, but when you engage with the community, do they get it?
Yeah, so when we've been engaging at Bidwell, all of the residents here have been really receptive to it. Over 80% of the residents here have taken the pledge to save water. So again, it's just pushing the message out there, and I believe people will really, really take it on board when we're engaging with them.
And finally to you, Julian, what is it we should be heading for as a household? How much water use in 2024?
So in relation to household usage, so very much around new builds, we really should be striving to hit 110 or below. Although that's current kind of the stretch target, kind of from a government perspective, we really need to be challenging our house builders to deliver that. Kind of from a wider perspective, reductions in demand at household properties, existing household properties are key. That will range, so it's very important kind of considerations there of actually what that can look like. But households can do very simple things to reduce their consumption.
3 things they can do, Frankie?
Turn off the tap when you're brushing your teeth. Take showers that are 3 minutes long. And use a watering can for your gardening.
And your dishwasher's important too.
Yes, if you can use an eco setting on the dishwasher, absolutely use it on dishwashers and washing machines.
My typical showers are around 3 minutes long, Bonnie.
Julian and Frankie, thank you very much indeed for talking to the Affinity Water podcast series about water neutrality here at Bidwell in Houghton Regis, and good luck with your water neutrality project.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Thank you very much, Bonnie.